What's up everybody? It's Katniss. How you doing? I am about to start packing. We are moving out of our apartment this Wednesday. Honestly, it's kind of bittersweet. We moved in here last February and it was our first place together, and then the following month that's when we got married. There's been a lot of good memories in this apartment. It's gotten me into a very reflection based type of mood. Just kind of thinking about where I started and where my life is now, and how everything that I have now, I didn't think that I could have it in life, but what changed? I basically started my life over when I was 28. At that age, I didn't think I would have anything in life. I pretty much didn't think I would amount to anything. I thought that I would be still living paycheck to paycheck. I thought that I would just be in massive amounts of debt, not be able to afford my own place. I didn't think I would be married. There are so many things that I thought was out of my reach, because for me, 28 was too late. I feel like there's this perception of age where if you don't get X, Y, and Z by this age, then you're never gonna get it. You're a loser, you're a failure, you're not doing enough, you're not trying hard enough, you're not lovable enough, you're past your prime. And honestly, I am here to tell you that all of that is complete, utter bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I fell into that trap super hard. I was depressed and super hopeless for so long because I was stuck in that mindset, until one day I was presented with this chance to start over and I just took it. I just want to say that I am not special. I am not the exception. Of course, we all grew up with different backgrounds, different opportunities, and with the ones that I have been presented with, I am like super immensely grateful for them. And this got me thinking how different my life would have been if I didn't take these opportunities that were given to me. Sometimes it took massive leaps of faith, but I feel like there's a lot of us where we do have these opportunities and we just stay where we're at. We just stay stuck there. We're the only ones stopping ourselves from going through with these life-changing experiences. My hope is that I can share what I went through, share some things that I've learned, and maybe give someone that courage to keep going, to not give up, and maybe even to start over again. Okay, so without going into massive amounts of detail and background and just like outing my whole childhood, I will just say that growing up, our family, we were just kind of like on our own. We weren't super tight or anything. It's not like we would tell each other secrets. We wouldn't like confide in each other. We were the exact opposite of those families that you would see in movies and TV shows. And I'm sure everyone had their issues and their problems, but that was basically how it was growing up. Since we kind of just existed in the same house and did our own thing, that kind of thinking and mentality showed in my young adult years. You're in that age between 18 to 21 and you're being entrusted with these decisions that I feel like people that age should not be entrusted with, without no experience, without no guidance. I definitely made a lot of bad decisions that affected me greatly. It affected me so much. One thing that really bogged me down was getting into debt. Instead of it helping me to provide a better life, like getting my degree and whatnot, honestly, it just really became a prison. And this went on for 10 years. Okay, 10 freaking years. 10 years! And throughout the 10 years, it just it didn't get better. I feel like there were lots of twists and turns and just things happening to me in life that I never expected, never knew how to deal with, and that hole of depression just kept getting deeper and deeper until I felt like there was really no way out, and this was how my life was gonna be forever. It wasn't until one night when I was at the lowest of the low when an opportunity was presented to me. And that opportunity was to move to Las Vegas.
Stop following me!
It's not like I never had a chance to move to Vegas before. In fact, I did move to Vegas before, and then I moved back home to Hawaii. But there was just something different about this time. I saw the opportunity and I just really never looked back. I packed up my shit. I moved to Las Vegas. What have I learned? Obviously, there's many things that I've learned because I'm not even in Vegas anymore. Now I'm in Virginia. So I moved from a small freaking island that was the only thing that I have ever known. I was born and raised on Oahu. I was there for, at that time, my whole life. It was terrifying. It was terrifying to say the least, but at the same time, it was kind of exciting, but I was still kind of depressed, and I don't know, for some reason from Las Vegas I thought it would be a good idea to move even farther away from home to Virginia, but my life is just so different, and it is nothing like how I thought it would be. So here's what I've learned. You have to do it scared. You will not feel ready for whatever change that you have to make, and you should not wait until you feel ready. You'll doubt everything. You will feel like you're not good enough. You'll feel like you're not smart enough. You'll feel like you're just not ready to do whatever it is this change is expecting you to do. You gotta do it anyway. You have to do it anyway. Don't wait until you feel confident, because guess what if that feeling just never comes? When I had moved from Hawaii to Las Vegas, I was freaking terrified, but I knew that I just could not stay in that spot anymore. My fear of things staying the same was greater than the fear of change, and that kind of helped give me the courage to just move. I didn't want to stay at home and feel stuck. I didn't want to be super depressed anymore. I didn't want to be stuck in this pattern of horrible thoughts and just being in a rut. And I know that moving or whatever doesn't solve any of those things. It won't solve, whatever you're dealing with mentally. But sometimes removing yourself from the situation, from the circumstances, literally picking yourself up and taking yourself out of there, sometimes that is so necessary in order for you to heal and get better. For me, that's really what I needed. Even though I was terrified, I knew I had to take drastic measures, and so that's what I did. The thing is, you can't ever 100% know everything that's gonna happen from the decisions that you make. You just have to do them. One of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein is when he says, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results." You have to physically, mentally do something else in order for your life to change. If you keep doing the same thing, you will get the same results. Do the thing and do it scared. The second thing that I've learned is to take calculated risks. So the point of calculating your risks is to see what options are presented to you, to kind of weigh the pros and cons of each option, see how it's going to affect you and benefit you, and then kind of going from there. You don't want to just take risks willy-nilly and you haven't even tried to plan and everything gets messed up and you're back to square one. Now, I know I said earlier that you will never 100% know what's going to happen from the steps that you take, but you can still plan. You can still plan the things that are in your control. Do not be like me. Do not be like me. I took so many dumb risks. I never even thought about it. I just kind of YOLO'd it. Dude, I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. It messed me up. I suffered my own consequences. Like, I went to beauty school without any income, without any savings, and why did I even think that that was a good idea? It wasn't a good idea. I wasn't thinking. I just did it. That resulted in me being deeper in debt. I feel like one of the hardest parts about calculating your risks is grounding yourself in your reality, the reality of your circumstances, the reality of what you can actually do, what you should do, instead of what you just want to do. I feel like at that point of my life, I was just going through so many different things and I just wanted a change. I wanted something that was gonna provide a quick fix, if you will, and for some reason I thought that that would be it. I was going to school to get my bachelor's degree, but for some reason I wasn't able to get funding for it anymore, so I had to stop. I had a year and a half left, and dude, that freaking broke me. I was super heartbroken. I was so excited to graduate. It put me deeper into this hole of, man, my life is never gonna get better. I'm never gonna be able to finish school. This is it for me, and my hole was just dug deeper. I don't know how, but for some reason I got funds to go to beauty school, which makes no sense to me, but that's a story for another time. Bottom line is, I took that risk without calculating any of the pros and cons, and it hurt me more than it actually helped me. There's different things, different paths that I could have taken. I could have maybe found a different job that was paying more if I really just wanted to get out of that job. I could have talked to other schools. Maybe there are other schools that would be able to give me funding because the beauty school was able to give me funding. I could have stayed at my job. That is a risk in itself too, because you're not moving. You know, you're taking the risk of being in that same spot that you are. And it would have forced me at least to face my emotions and my feelings head on, instead of just trying to constantly run away and medicate with some fleeting thing. I think that you shouldn't wait until you feel ready, but you should also kind of calculate your pros and cons, weigh it out. There needs to be a healthy balance, like a healthy medium, so that we're not just tossing things into the wind and, you know, hopefully it works out. Definitely having that healthy medium will help you choose a decision that will most benefit you. So again, know your objective, look at your options, weigh out the pros and cons of each option, take that calculated risk. Don't underestimate the small changes. I gave the example of me moving from a small island all the way to the continental US, but you don't have to make a dramatic change like that to just change your life. Making small changes now can provide you with huge, everlasting change. And most of the time, this is all we really need. Some small change that gets us on the right track. Maybe one thing you have to do is change your spending habits. Maybe you shouldn't be eating all you can eat Korean barbecue every week or having boba every day. I don't want to attack anybody, okay, because I also love Korean barbecue. The thin strips pork belly. Hello. But maybe we shouldn't be spending our money on that every single week. Because honestly, stuff like that can add up so quickly. And that's the thing. Like how I said, you don't have to make this big dramatic change. It doesn't mean that you can't eat Korean barbecue anymore, but maybe you just have to limit it. So start small. Instead of going to Korean barbecue once a week, maybe you could just start with having it every other week. And then you'll get used to not having it as much. You can have it once every 3 weeks, once every month, once every quarter, whatever. Most of the time for people, quitting cold turkey isn't really an option. At least from my experience, you're kind of constantly thinking about it until one day you just freaking break and you're like, I need it! Like that SpongeBob episode.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
You won't be like SpongeBob in that moment, okay? All you have to do is just start small. Small changes just feel so insignificant sometimes. But dude, like everybody has to start somewhere. Even the most famous artists started with shitty drawings. And starting small is better than just not doing anything. So don't underestimate the small changes. So the fourth thing that I really had to learn is that you have to be patient with yourself. Sometimes you'll start over and you won't even recognize any progression at first. Things might stay the same for a while. Maybe you moved and you still feel crappy. Maybe you got to a new job, you still feel anxious. You just still might feel yourself struggling. You could get caught in that trap of, well, I made the change, I'm here now, and I still feel the same, so what exactly was the point? Honestly, I felt like that for a long time after I moved to Vegas. In fact, I still felt like that when I moved to Virginia. I was already with my husband now, but it just still felt the same. I still felt sad. I still felt depressed. I mean, of course, it doesn't just go away just like that. And my circumstances were kind of the same. I was still working entry-level jobs. I still hadn't graduated from school yet. I was still working paycheck to paycheck. At the time, I didn't notice that all of these little things was helping me build a better foundation. Little by little, I was getting better. In the moment, you just don't realize it, you don't recognize it, until you get to this point where you look back and you're like, oh dang, like, it was better. It wasn't the same. The point here is to just be patient with yourself. Be patient with the track that you're on. Be patient with your own journey because it's yours and not anybody else's. Sometimes we want to get out of our rut so quickly, just like that, but life doesn't always work that way. In the moment when you start to get impatient, doubt starts to creep in, and it could actually drag you back into the lifestyle that you were trying to get away from. Or maybe it'll lead you to make other decisions that are actually not beneficial for you. It'll take time for us to get back up. And honestly, that's okay. Our life isn't like freaking high-speed internet where you can load a new page in 1.2 seconds. Now, it would be nice. That would be freaking nice, but it's okay to feel slow or feel like you're the same. Every change that you implement, you're not. Every change that you implement, every risk that you take, that is proof, that's evidence that you're not in the same place anymore. And you're not the same person. So just take a deep breath, take a walk in the sun, smell the roses. It's getting better. Little by little, it's definitely getting better. Next thing that I have learned, keep an eye out for different opportunities. This is so important because I feel like more often than not, people kind of just wait for an opportunity to fall into their lap. Sometimes they don't even have the mental capacity to realize oh crap, this is an opportunity I can take advantage of, and then it kind of just slips us by. These opportunities won't show up and be like, I'm here, pick me, they ain't no pick me girl, okay? Sometimes with these opportunities, you just have to go searching for it. When I first moved to Virginia, I worked at a retail store. A year later, I was just about to quit because the position I was in was just really hard and difficult for me, for my mentals. My sister-in-law had messaged me and was like, hey, I seen this ad for this company and they're offering debt-free assistance for school. And my first thought was like, bro, that's a fucking scam. Like, they haven't even talked about it at work at all. Like, that's just some ad that people are trying to debate other people and get their info from, so you know they can steal your freaking identity or whatever. I just kind of like wrote it off. For some reason, maybe like the following week, I was like, you know what, before I quit, I should just make sure that this is like not a true thing, because I would have kicked myself in the ass if it was real. I talked to my lead at the time and she was like, you know what, I don't know, but let me look into it for you. Lo and behold, it was freaking real. It was real. I was like, you idiot, you were just about to quit and miss out on this freaking huge opportunity. I took advantage of that shit, okay? I didn't have to pay for school. I didn't have to pay for books. My last year and a half of my bachelor's degree was covered by the company. And after 10 years, because I stopped going to school in 2013, that was when the money ran out. After 10 years, 2023, I finally graduated with my bachelor's degree. My point is to keep your eyes open for these different opportunities. If there aren't opportunities that are falling in your lap, dude, look for them, because they're there, they're out there. Don't count yourself out, don't write yourself out, just go for it, because you literally never know what's gonna happen. And another thing is, sometimes opportunities will show up that you won't think are opportunities. Maybe you think that you want to just move out on your own and that's the only way that your life will be better, but a friend comes up to you and asks if you want to be roommates. Maybe you didn't get the position that you were actually trying to get, but then they come up to you and they say, hey, here's another one. What do you think? You really just never know. You never know. Keep an open mind and keep your eyes open for these different opportunities, because trust me, they're out there. They're out there. Another thing that I had learned, and will probably not be as long of a tip as the others, but it's very important for you to reflect often. Personally, I love to journal. I love deep talks with friends, with my husband. Everything that I went through in the past, I think about it a lot, because I look at my life now and it's just so different, and I feel like reflecting really helps you get a grasp on your current situation, but also shows you like how far you've come from what your life was like before. When we first got this apartment, it was so funny because we loaded up my car with some stuff, so I was driving on my own, and for some reason, like, I just started crying. But like good tears, you know? Like, I was just reflecting on when I was younger and how I felt back at home, how sometimes I just, you know, felt super depressed, felt anxious, I didn't feel safe, and I also felt trapped. Like, that's how living in a house was always gonna be like for me. Going from that to getting an apartment with the person that I was gonna marry and live this happily ever after, it was so surreal and mind-boggling to me, because I never thought that that was gonna happen. And I fucking cried. I'm a fucking crybaby. You can ask him, you can ask my best friends, like, they'll tell you I cry, okay? I was just so thankful and grateful. Like, I could have just stayed the same, but I didn't want that. Deep down inside, I didn't want that. And even though it took a lot of pain and a lot of effort and a lot of hard work, I still got there. And it paid off in the end. Reflecting is just so important. Even if you're not at your end goal, your end destination, you can still see how far you've come, and it'll help you be encouraged to not give up. You're not at your end goal yet. You're still in the middle, but you're definitely not way back at the starting line. So reflect however you want to do that, whether it's writing in a journal, typing in a Google Docs or whatever. I know some people will even use their phones, like they'll record voice memos and just kind of spurt out thoughts. That's another thing that you can do. Don't stop reflecting. It helps. I swear it helps. My last tip is kind of like a bonus tip, because American healthcare kind of sucks. But if you can afford it, get a therapist. If you take the time to research, there are ways to get some healthcare, so you could get cheaper insurance or cheaper therapists. If you have the means to, definitely get a therapist. I don't know, man, it's just so good. Like, they're really a non-biased outside voice helping you, listening to your thoughts, helping you decipher things. Maybe there's bad patterns of thinking that you don't even realize is hurting you to the point of not being able to do anything. If you can get a therapist, it will help you so much in life. Sometimes the first therapist that you see may not be the best fit for you. So shopping around for a therapist is a totally normal thing until you find someone that you feel is a good fit for you. Maybe it's not an option right now. Definitely at least keep it in the back of your mind. That is it for this video. I've been wanting to make a video like this for a really long time, but I just always felt more insecure. Like, you know, there's someone else that's more knowledgeable or more skilled, or they can speak better, that will be able to help them. But I don't know, I just want to share what I went through. There's so many times where I see like friends and family members or coworkers that feel like they're just stuck. They're not happy with their life. They just feel stuck where they're at, as if they don't have any control in how their life is gonna be. And I just relate with that so much, because I realize that it's not true. We do have some control over our life. Maybe we can't control like the outward responses or the outside circumstances, but we always have a choice to do something that will kind of help us get to that destination that we want to be at. So you're never too late to make a change in your life. Maybe you're not 21 anymore, you're in your upper 20s, you're in your upper 30s, 40s, whatever. Like, it's never too late. You just have to start now. So no matter what age you are, if you want to invoke change in your life, you can. It starts today. Okay? Today. I really hope that this video helps somebody. Just know that if you're not happy, it's not always gonna be like this. It's hard to even want to do anything or think about anything when you feel depressed and in a rut. You'll get there. Your dreams don't expire. Just don't give up. You're not stuck. Don't give up. I love you guys. I am rooting for you guys. If you feel like you guys don't have a cheerleader, just remember me. I'm cheering for you. I'm cheering for you. That's it. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.